Now here we are going to create set of stacks class, which is solution to our problem of stack of plates. Now here I'm going to create a new file which is called set of stacks. So inside this file I'm going to create our class over here. Now I'm going to create set of stacks based on the array list. So that's why the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to import array list to this file over here. So java.util.arraylist. Then another library that I need over here is I just need to import empty stack exception over here also. So as you remember, we did the same to this inside this stack class over here. So I'm just going to copy it from here and pass it over here. Then I'm going to declare our class like this: public class set of stacks. Then inside this class, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create list of stacks based on this array list that we have imported over here. So it's going to be like this: array list, which will be the type of the stack. So in this case, this stack is the stack class that we have over here. So the name of this list will be stacks. So set of stacks. Then it's going to be new array list stack. I'm just going to copy it from here and pass it over here. Now with this, we have successfully created array list of this stacks class that we created over here. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to set the capacity of these stacks over here. So it's going to be like this: public int capacity, because we should have threshold for each stack over here. Then inside constructor, I'm going to receive the capacity from the user as a parameter, and I'm going to set it to this capacity over here. So it's going to be like this: public set of capacity, so as a parameter int capacity, and this capacity is equal to capacity. Now with this, we have successfully created our set of stacks based on the this stack class over here. Then we are going to implement our methods in this set of stacks over here. So the first method that I'm going to implement is to get last stack, because as we said before, when we are going to call pop method, it should act as this is a single stack. So this means that when we are calling pop method, it should pop out the last stack's top element. So in this case, I need to find out the last stack. So in this case, I'm going to create a helper method which is responsible for getting last stack. So it's going to return the stack. So the name of the method will be get last stack. Now as a parameter, it's not going to take any parameter. So here, how can we return the last stack? So in this case, it's going to be like this: if the size of this stacks list over here is 0, in this case we are going to return null, because in this case we don't have any stack. Otherwise, we are going to use the get function of this array list based on the stack size -1. So stacks, if the stack size, for example, is 3, by using -1, we are going to accessing that index. So based on the stacks index, we can return the last stack. So it's going to be like this: if stacks.size, so this size function comes from this array list over here, is equal to 0. In this case, we don't have any stack in our stack list over here, so that's why I'm going to return null. Otherwise, I'm going to return stacks.get. So this get method works based on the index. So by putting index over here, we can return any stack. So in this case, we need last stack. So this means that we need to put last stack's index. So the last stack's index is stacks.size. So it's going to return the size of stack. So if I put minus over here, it's going to be last stack's index in this case. So with this method, we are getting the last stack from this list of stacks over here. Now here, the next method that we are going to implement is push method. So as we said, when we are pushing element to this set of stacks over here, it's going to check that if we have not reached the last stack's capacity, in this case, it's going to insert this new element to the last stack. If we have reached it, we are going to create a new stack, and we are going to insert this new element to this new stack over here. So our method will be like this: public void push. So it's going to take the type of integer parameter. So then here, the first thing that I'm going to do, I need to find out the last stack. So I'm going to create a stack, which we will get using this last stack method over here. So if I call last stack method, it's going to return the type of stack. So I'm going to set it to this last stack over here. Then after doing so, we are going to check that if last stack is not null and last stack is not full, so in this case, we can add element to this last stack over here. So the if condition will be like this: if last is not equal to null and last is not full, so I'm going to put it like this: last dot is full. So this means that by putting this exclamation mark over here, we are checking that if it is not full, then in this case, we can insert element, we can push this element, new element, to this last stack over here. So I'm going to call last stacks push method with the value of this v over here. So with this, we have successfully inserted an element at the top of the last stack over here. Now then, if the last stack is full, in this case, we must create a new stack to put this new element to this new stack over here. So in this case, it's going to be like this. So here, I'm going to create a new stack in the else condition. So new stack will be new stack with the capacity, because all stacks in our set of stacks have to be in the same capacity. So it's going to be the capacity. So it's going to take as a parameter capacity. This capacity parameter comes from when we are declaring the set of stacks over here. We are setting it, so it's going to be the same capacity variable value that we have over here. Now, after creating this new stack, we are going to add this new element to this new stack over here. So this means that's going to be like this. Stack.push is going to add this element. So with this, we have not finished because we have created a stack, but we have not added this stack to our set of stacks. So this means that this stack over here has to be added to these stacks over here, which is the type of array list. So in this case, we need to call add method of the array list. So it's going to be like this, stacks.add, and we are going to add this stack over here. Now with this, we have successfully added this new stack to this set of stacks over here. Now with this, we have completed this push method over here. So basically what we are doing over here is we are checking that if the last stack is not full, then we are inserting all elements to last stack over here. If it is full, then in this case, we are creating a new stack and adding this element to this new stack and adding this new stack to this set of stacks over here. Now with this, our push method is completed. Now the next method that we are going to implement is pop method. So here I'm going to declare pop method. So as we mentioned before, pop method has to perform operation like that. This set of stack is one stack. So this means that when we are calling pop method, it has to pop out the last stack's top element. So we have to implement this logic over here. So I'm going to declare our pop method like this, public int. So it's going to return the value of int because all elements in our stacks are the type of int. It's not going to take any parameters. So we are going to implement logic inside this method over here. Now here again, the first thing that we are going to do, we need to find the last stack. So to find the last stack, we are going to create a stack over here in which we will have last stack by using getLastStack method over here. Then we are going to check that if the last stack is null, in this case, we are going to throw empty stack exception. Otherwise, we are going to call pop method from this stack over here. So if last is equal to null, in this case, I'm going to throw empty stack error, empty stack exception. So if it is not null, then in this case, I'm going to create a new variable, which will be the result, in which we will have the element that comes from the pop method of last stack over here. Then we are going to check that if the last stack's size is equal to 0 after removing this element over here, in this case, we need to remove this stack from the set of stacks. So here, after removing the element, if we identify that the last stack size becomes 0, so in this case, we are going to remove that stack from the set of stacks over here. So I'm going to put if condition like this. If last.size is equal to 0, in this case, we are going to call set of stacks remove method, remove. So we need to provide the index of the last stack. So to do so, we are going to get the size of stacks -1. So with this, we are accessing the last stack in our set of stacks and we are removing last stacks from here. Then at the end, we need to return this result value over here. So I'm going to put it like this, return result. So with this, we have successfully implemented push and pop methods for this set of stacks over here. Now let's see how this is working in practice. So inside main class, instead of creating a new stack over here, I'm going to create based on the set of stacks. So set of stacks. So here again, we will have 3. So I'm going to call push method and then we are going to print out pop method. So let me just call push method, for example, 5 times. 1, 2. So then we are inserting 3, 4, and 5. Now here, first it's going to insert these 3 elements to the first stack. Then it's going to insert these 2 elements to the second stack. When we call the pop method for this new stack over here, it has to return these 5 over here because the 5 is the last element that we have inserted. So it's going to be the pop element in our stack. So if I run our code, Now you see that it's returning 5. So this means that it's acting the way that this set of stacks is a single stack. So when we are calling pop method, it's removing the last stack's top element from the stack over here. So everything works smoothly. Now here, the next thing that we need to implement, as you remember in our question, we have follow-up. In the follow-up, it says that implement a function which is pop at. So it will take as a parameter index of the stack, which performs a pop operation on a specific substack. So this means that, for example, if we want to pop out the element from the first stack, for example, in the first stack we have 3 elements. So if I call for the first stack, in this case, in our case over here, should return 3. So if I put 0 over here. Now we have not implemented that method. Now in the next lecture, we are going to implement pop at method inside this set of stacks class over here. So after pop method, we are going to implement pop at method in the next lecture. So see you in the next lecture.